and there was only one tiny tree that wouldn't have stopped a small car. But I personally believe that God used that tree, that tiny tree, to stop us. And we stopped it like 20 centimeters from the cliff. Next slide, please. That was our bus. I was just under the tree. I don't know if you have met any miracle before. If not, nice to meet you, Fernanda Lima. Next slide, please. This accident changed my life completely and my family's life completely also. I was severely injured and I moved to São Paulo and my life started to change while I was in the hospital. I had a surgery and so on, and one day I was laying on my bed and I wanted to sleep so bad because I don't know if anyone here have been to the hospital before, but you don't feel like sleeping at all. And I couldn't sleep. And I got so desperate that my mother came to my bed and asked God something very simple. She didn't ask God to heal me or nothing like this. She just asked God, help her to sleep. A simple request, isn't it? Do you know what God said? No. And during that prayer, my mother started to cry. I don't know if your mother have ever cried for you in front of you. It's the saddest thing to see. So I decided not to complain anymore. My mother came back to her bed and I kept thinking, I need to sleep, I need to do something. Then I had an idea because we always think of something. So I started to repeat mentally what is written in Ephesians. It's a book of the Bible, Priska. Ephesians chapter 4, verse 13. What is written? Do you know by heart? I don't believe it's so famous. Ephesians 4, verse 13. I can do all things through God who strengthens me. That's a terrible verse for Brazilians to speak. too many THs in one verse. But you understood the meaning, right? We can do all things through Christ. And I repeated mentally. Do you know what happened some minutes later? Nothing! Didn't work! Come on! So I took a deep breath and I thought to myself, the Bible is not like some other religious books that, or according to other cultures, that if you repeat the same again and again and again and again, then something happens. The Bible is not like this. So I took a deep breath and I thought to myself, I need Jesus. I can't talk to him because there was a long time that I didn't pray, so I couldn't, simply didn't work. I couldn't talk to God. So I need Jesus. I cannot talk to him. I need to go where he is. And I would like to ask you this morning, where is God? Where is Jesus? Where we can find him? You see, the next day I asked Dad to bring me a Bible. You know, the old book. And he brought me a Bible in English, by the way. And I restarted reading the Gospels. And there is something really impressive about the Bible. It doesn't matter how well you know it. It doesn't matter, because as a Christian, the life of Jesus was so... there was nothing new there for me. But the Bible is not a regular book. It's a supernatural one. So if you are humble enough to find out what is there, God speaks to you through that reading. Amen. And it was so powerful for me because on the next nights I couldn't sleep. But instead of despair, I found out peace. And there is nothing better than to feel or to find peace in your heart. And I got reconnected to God. And God gave me the strength to face what was ahead of me. I was severely injured, and I injured my spinal cord. So from that moment on, I stopped feeling. Then I got to recover some of my sensibility, but at that time I couldn't feel. From my thorax down, I couldn't move, and I got back to wear diapers. It was nothing, I could never imagine such a thing in my life. And the last day that I was in the hospital, the doctor came to me and told me and said, Fernanda, we can only tell something about your case in 6 months. And I looked at him like this. I didn't say, but I thought to myself, 6 months? 6 months? It's a long time to be in a wheelchair. And it's been 16 years already. I got home to a totally different reality. You know, in Brazil, here in Canada, you are very fortunate people. Because it's an awesome country, awesome people. And regarding to disabled people, at least in big cities as Vancouver, you have ramps all over. And it definitely, of course, those who walk don't realize how important it is. But in Brazil, we have huge accessibility issues. It's not accessible at all. So when you have to use a wheelchair to move around, you are in trouble. And our house wasn't accessible, and we had to make all these changes. And before that, I had never sat in a wheelchair. And one day, I was at home writing something, and then my pen dropped. And I tried to reach it, and I couldn't. And then I realized how limited I was. And I thought to myself, I can't be this way, no way, because I thought like this. Anyone in a wheelchair can be happy. I cannot. In order to be happy, I have to walk again. When I walk again, then I will be happy. And you, what are you waiting for to be happy? Don't tell me, just think. I went then to a rehabilitation center to learn how to be in a wheelchair. And over there, I met the greatest people ever. Because I have a limitation. But you have no idea how many different limitations there are out there. And bigger limitations. And I felt fortunate compared to them. Because I have my arms, and you have no idea how your arms are important. And your hands are important. One day, we were on a meeting, and there was this half Japanese girl. And she was quadriplegic. She couldn't move also her arms. And her story was very sad. She got married, and she was going to their honeymoon by car. They were driving, and they had this accident. She was left quadriplegic, and nothing happened to him. So the couple was there. Both of them were there. And then, I don't know if you ever met a quadriplegic. Their hands are like this because they can't stretch or move the fingers. But one day I noticed that her fingers were like this. And I thought, oh, you're recovering. And she said, no, not really. This is spasticity. It's when, you know what this word means? So when your fingers or muscles go stiff. And she said, it's so hard because I cannot touch my nose when I sneeze. And when she said that, how do you call the verb when your nose is running and then you do this? How do you call it?
Blow your nose.
Yeah, to blow. She couldn't blow her own nose. And when she told me that, it was like a shock because I've never had realized how important are our hands. Have you ever imagined to have someone to blow your nose or to remove a hair when it's like this? We have so many things to be thankful for. We don't realize it. We don't realize it. But then one day, someone invited me to do something. And I would like you to pay attention to the invitations you get. Because usually, we have this automatically thing in our minds that when someone invites us to do something, we say no. It's like a defense thing. I don't know why we do this, but we usually do this. But I would like to invite you to say more yes than no. To good things, of course. Doesn't matter if you are afraid, if you don't know what you're going to do, or that. Doesn't matter. Try to say more yes than no. Someone came to me and said, Fernanda, would you like to swim? And I thought to myself, no, I would like to walk. But what did I say? Yes, I would like to swim. And I went to the swimming pool. It was in the rehabilitation center. It was a very small pool, not for swimming purpose, more for physiotherapy. But the person was there and she told me, well, you're going to see, now to swim, it's going to be harder. Because without your legs movements, your legs will like sink. And it will be heavy for you to move your arms. But I'll be there, I'll be here with you, and let's just try. Okay, so I wore my goggles, and I tried. And I kept swimming, 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 and then I reached the other end. And that moment for me, 1 year, was magic. Because it was the first time that I could go from one point to another without a chair, without diapers, without anybody to help me, and I love it. So I kept going and swimming, and therefore I was introduced to a new world for me. A world of people who are disabled, but instead of staying at home asking to themselves, why me? They are athletes and they do sports. And I started to swim with other disabled people. After some time, I was invited to go to a competition. And I was assigned just for one race, 50 meters butterfly. And surprisingly, on that day, I got the gold medal and I broke the national record. Yeah, I was so surprised as you are now. And after that, then I stopped training on that rehabilitation center, and I moved to another club, another organization, association, it's better. I moved to another association. But tell me, what day do you think that the competitions take place? Yeah, very smart people. On Sabbath. And you know, Priska, we Christians, we believe in the Bible, and we believe that God speaks to us through the Bible. And in the first page of the Bible, tells the story how